was saxophonist Jacques Schwarz-Bart playing from his album Hassan. Jacques, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Jacques, a bit about your history. You were born in Guadeloupe.
Yes, indeed.
Your parents were both famous writers, André and Simone Schwarz-Bart. Your father won France's top literature prize, the Goncourt, and your mum wrote several jewels of Caribbean literature. On your album Hassan, you explore your Jewish roots, but you've also made albums of Guadeloupean guaca music and voodoo music from Haiti. You bring together different genres, different cultures in your music. How important is an album like Hassan in these times?
Well, it is about Jewish liturgical music, but also it is infused with harmonies and composing techniques from jazz music, improvisation, and also a lot of Afro-diasporic rhythms. So precisely, it is very much a synthesis of everything that I am.
Last week in France, thousands of people, I don't know if you saw it in the news, protested against a spate of anti-Semitic attacks. France has the biggest Jewish community, as you know, in Europe, with more than 500,000 people. Both of your parents, they wrote about persecution. You're performing your music from this album that's looking at this Jewish prayers in Paris this week. Have you thought about the tension here ahead of that concert?
Yes, I am very much in tune with the debate going on, and I'm very much appalled by and depressed, really, to be honest, by the rise of anti-Semitism. But I'm not surprised at all. Anti-Semitism has such deep roots in France, but in many parts of the world, actually. It is so hard to uproot something that's so deep.
Let's talk about these Jewish prayers that are on Hassan, the album. Tell us how you discovered this music and what the title means.
The title, Hassan, is the cantor, the voice in the synagogue that sings the prayer, and there is a great art to it that is specific to each of the many Jewish communities in the world. It's called the Hazanut, the art of singing Jewish prayers.
Let's have a listen. This is Mi Shabarak. So, Jacques, in your music, there is Judaism, but there's also voodoo, for example, in the jazz Racine, Haiti. Do you believe in God?
God is not the term that I would use. I believe in energies of all sorts that are greater than ourselves. And somehow I feel such a great sense of elevation through different religious practices. But mainly through music. So that's why...
music is your religion.
Music is my prayer.
Recently, a few years ago, you made a film about your life and your roots, which was called La Voix des Ancêtres. In it, you talked about immigration. Now, just this weekend, the actor Rami Malek accepted his Oscar, and he spoke about the complexities about being the son of immigrants, how he struggled with his identity. Now, you've lived in the United States for 3 decades.
Yes.
Now, do you still feel like an immigrant?
I feel like an immigrant already from my roots. Both Jewish people and Black people from the Caribbean have migrated forcefully, under the threat of torture and death. It is my identity.
Let's go back 30 years. You did your studies here in Paris. You got a job with the French Senate and you almost became a statesman. And suddenly you changed your course and you became a musician. and you went to New York.
The tenor saxophone came late in my life. I was 24 when I first played it. After trying it for about 30 minutes, I was playing some melodies, and a friend of mine who was there needed a saxophone player for a gig the day after, and I started my professional career within the 24 hours of playing the saxophone. It was a very drastic decision to quit my job at the Senate after playing the saxophone for only 3 years. And a lot of people thought I was absolutely reckless. I had found my reason for being in this planet. The advanced musicians who told me, you have no chance here. You're surrounded by killers who've been doing that all their lives, and you will, in the best case scenario, teach 4-year-old children the C scale. And I was like, so be it. I want to be part of music. And now a lot of those cats are asking me for a gig today.
You're playing at Paris's New Morning concert venue this week.
Yes.
Tell us about this place.
It's a legendary place. It's basically any great musician in the last 30 years has performed at the New Morning, and it's always a musical feast.
Okay, well, the New Morning is a key place at the centre of the jazz scene in France. Let's find out some more about this mythical venue.
The New Morning would never have seen the light of day if it were not for this woman. Egla Farhi opened the small music hall in Paris's 10th arrondissement in 1981. It was a risky investment, at a time when most of the French capital's jazz clubs were struggling. The club itself was modest. The former printing press had a capacity of 450 people, sparse decor, and one bathroom. But it became a home away from home for jazz greats and beyond. Art Blakey performed the inaugural show. Then came Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz, Archie Shepp, even Prince. Egla Farhi remembers Chet Baker's performance like it was yesterday.
The head of the orchestra wanted all of the spotlight, and at the end of the show, he was so exasperated that he took his clothes off on stage.
Some artists posted up in the New Morning for weeks, and many became Farhi's lifelong friends, like Roy Haynes, who celebrated his 82nd birthday in the club in 2007. 3 years later, Eglal handed the reins to her daughter Catherine, and New Morning turned over a new leaf. In recent years, the club has widened the variety of its shows beyond the realm of jazz. In 2015, New Morning Radio was born, an online station featuring music, interviews with artists, and talk shows.
We want a young public, to come and listen to the jazz. So now there is a kind of fusion between jazz and other kind of music. We have hip-hop, we have soul, we have funk. Keeping on is renewing yourself every day.
Staying true to its name, New Morning, now a pillar in the French jazz scene, continues to reinvent itself.
And now we've come to the end of the show, but we end every show with our guest's cultural pick of the moment. You've chosen the film that has just been awarded the Best Picture Oscar. Why have you chosen Green Book?
It is a story about shared humanity. And I really believe that this is going to be the next cultural step as a species, that we're going to have to accomplish. We did so much technologically, but we haven't evolved philosophically. This film is about this, experiencing other people's humanity and embracing it, and feeling enriched by it. Seeing this guy from the Bronx, this Italian guy who was brought up in a very racist environment, develop those feelings of admiration for this gentleman who was black, educated, gay, and with such a great moral compass. I thought it defined the tone of this shared humanity, which should be really the goal today.
Jacques Schwarz-Bart, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to
so
have
much.
you. We're going to leave you with Green Book. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
You only win when you maintain your dignity.
You don't know your own people. You, Mr. Big Shot, doing concerts for rich people.
So if I'm not black enough, and if I'm not white enough, then tell me, Tony, what am I?
Anyone can sound like Beethoven. For your music, what you do, only you can do that.
What do we do about the bones?
We do this.
Pick it up, Tony.
Squirrels would eat it anyway.
Pick it up.